called, that can be detrimental for Cuckoo if he does catch Raven out. At the same time, it's not going to be Cuckoo's job to handle the Ursa. So lots of back and forth. I think T1's going to have an easier time hitting their timings here.
Especially for T1 right now, who I think you were saying earlier, John, they were kind of at the bottom of the ladder right now. So every point going to be very important for them. If there's a time to start getting 2-0 victories, it's probably about now.
Yeah, I think if they actually do manage to get that series win, I think it kind of ties them up with SMG once more. Maybe puts them slightly above. So it's the start of the climb into the upper bracket, at least as the groups close out. And we are at the halfway day. This is pretty much the halfway mark series as well. So you're running out of opportunities to get those points up. And for a team like T1, you know, starting in the upper bracket gives you more leeway, gives you more security. You don't have to worry about elimination immediately in the first round. No team wants to face that. Even a seasoned team like T1, of course, would want to start comfy there.
Yeah, absolutely.
30 seconds.
Bit of a group up in the mid lane here, T1. I doubt there's any kind of early engagement. It's like T1's having a bit of a dance party in that T1 mid tower. Fnatic, they're just kind of roaming around, you know, trying to find the best position to try and go for a fight. T1, they might try to force a fight here at this bot rune spot. I doubt Fnatic really wants to bother though. The pings are already coming out to go after the top boundary rune, and T1, they're going to reveal themselves here. Yeah, they'll leave it. Fnatic, they don't want to fight, which is absolutely fair enough.
Yeah, that does give Fnatic the opportunity to go for a free bounty start. So
yeah,
managed to snag it away. Raven just in position. The ward actually helping him out because he knew no one was camping around there. And that gold injection is going to help them massively. At the very least, mid is the one that enjoys that the most. We will see the top lane. Raven on the Ursa, DJ on his Witchstalker. They are laning up against Carl and Zephyr on that Razor and Hoodwink. And this is a bit of a scary lane for the Ursa. You're up against a Razor. Carl is going to be able to sap away. They have Throne. Cuckoo mid with the Axe, by the way. So that's the lane swap out there. But they just keep the Razor on the Ursa. Raven, and even with small static links, it's still enough to really hold back the farm, and there's not much DJ can do to stop it. Early levels in the cast can only bounce so much, so he can't really counterplay until levels start to flow in here.
Yeah, I appreciate the fact that they did swap lanes here with Carl and Cuckoo to make sure that they each have a nice time. Definitely was going to be pretty rough had that not happened. Juan mid lane, of course, is going to be up against Cuckoo now. And Cuckoo, I don't think he's threatened at all by this lane. Like, Juan, if he can somehow get a very early Spirit Vessel, maybe... What the hell? Someone's messaging me, apparently. If he can get a good start during the... Sorry, it's completely thrown me off. If we get a good start in the mid lane with the Spirit Vessel, then we can get maybe a kill onto Cuckoo, but... Yeah. Go on, John. Someone just told me I look sexy, apparently, in my messages, so it's thrown me off completely. I'm really going to start deleting people that do that. I don't even know who the hell that is.
You know, there's an option to not show Steam Whispers in Dota.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, this whole time I keep messing up, and there was an option the whole time.
It's all right, Mike. I'll see it. I'll see it later on when we catch up to delay. But you can see the one issue with the Invoker in this lane is when you do go for the Quant's Wex, if you're not on Wex, Cuckoo can just run up, spin on you, and it's very hard to zone him out. That Spirit Vessel, not even the Spirit, I think the Urn might be enough to hold Cuckoo back with the Cold Snap, but that does mean Chuan needs to get a fast start, and of course that means he needs a kill. Not the easiest thing to get done in Invoker 1v1. Cuckoo's just really maximizing, getting the pulse into the small camp and just building up there.
Yeah, call was there from Cuckoo. That'll force the rotation from Jabs, but they might be able to get a kill. And I was just saying Cuckoo should be fine, but that is not the case. Juan, he'll give him the tip straight off the bat. Jabs a very nice rotation there on the line, and well, things are going very well so far for Fnatic as they start moving into the bot lane now with Jabs. I suppose he could set up another kill, but he will get scouted out as top lane Raven. That's not great news for Fnatic. He does end up dying on the Ursa.
Yeah, I think that's a favorable trade for T1. Like, losing your axe is pretty painful. Giving this earlier start to Chuan to build into that urn, as we talked about, is pretty nice for the Invoker, but all things considered, Whitemon?
Jabs. I mean, Whitemon looks to be alright, John. Jabs. Oh, he got the last hit off, but he's going to die first. I don't know. If you're Jabs, he'll probably have a laugh about that one. He'll accept the gold, I guess. Definitely a more favorable trade, I'd say, for the side of T1 down to that bot lane.
Yeah, and you're seeing a bit of a difference here between those safe lanes. You are having a much better time on Savage. He's at 15-3. Raven's at 4-0. He's in the jungle at minute 3 on the Ursa. He's just had such a bad time. This swap from T1 has put a big lid on Fnatic's early game, and an early jungling Ursa, it feels like a pub game. You know, when you're supporting and then your carry is just like, I don't want to deal with this, just jumps jungling. You can get it done with an Ursa, but man, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. DJ, a bit of a rough time for him. Bushwhack is going to land. Carl should be able to get a free kill, but the Fairy Fire is there. It won't matter though. Carl, he understands with that bonus movement speed, he's going to be able to secure the kill more than easily.
Yeah, and you're just basically giving a free lane to Carl. You're just taking free farm, getting kills. You are at least getting space for Raven in the jungle. Again, a very slow process. You can't build up stacks this way. And T1, they're just forcing the attention onto Cuckoo.
Yeah, Cuckoo's going to be in a spot of danger now. They go in again. DJ this time around with the Maledict is going to be able to get a fair amount of damage off. It's not going to be enough to kill him. That is only a level 1 Maledict, I believe, on our Witch Doctor. So DJ, maybe if it was level 2, you could think about getting the kill there, but it does at least force Cuckoo to back out.
Yeah, it buys some time here that you want to build up, and it's starting to feel like the pressure is going to be on Chuan and on Death to make plays. They have to line up their shots once certain items are up. I think Chuan, with the urn, is desperately looking for that kill. He needs a nice kill to get a charge so he can get that control for his team, but it doesn't feel like the damage is up on Fnatic just yet.
No.
They keep trying to commit onto Cuckoo. At this point, Cuckoo's just dipping into the jungle. His Vanguard is pretty much done as well. So the axe is already going to be tanky when he does show up back to a lane.
Yeah, absolutely. The quiet period he is. I think might start pressuring Whitemon. Meanwhile, in the dire jungle, Zephyr having a look around, seeing if he can spot out Raven, and he might just. Nearly misses out. I guess it's one beauty of this jungle Ursa right now is you can just chase him down and kind of make his life a living hell. So Raven, he's going to take the mid lane anyway, but there are a lot of heroes around him. Zephyr. Get a nice bushwhack. Oh, he does land it as well. Carl, Plasma Field is going to land. Can they get in range for the static link? It may not matter because they have the damage there with Zephyr. He's going to die to Chuan, but you'll be happy with that. That's a great kill now for T1.
Yeah, killing off the Ursa once more, forcing 4 heroes mid. Carl.
Yeah, in trouble. Trouble indeed, Carl. Oh, he's going to keep trying for the Chuan kill, but is going to pay for it.
The jungle has everything Axe desires.
What's wrong with you, John X5? I know what you did. I know what you did.
Dead.
Sorry.
Why would you request that in the middle of a cast?
I had to see it. There you go. I'm happy.
You happy, John?
Yeah, I am.
Is he right?
What a nickname
at
as
least
well.
at least
he's right.
All right. There we go. On to the Monkey King. 23 Savage. The start. Oh, he's actually with that Maledict. He's probably going to die. He's going to try and fairy fight through it. Meanwhile, Jabs does end up going down. He'll try to mischief dodge. It's not going to be enough, though. Death is able to secure the kill there with DJ. And now Chuan comes in. They found another great pick off onto Whitemon. That'll be a double kill for DJ on the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, and this is what we talked about. It's down to Chuan and Death to make plays. They collapse in the right lane. T1 was not in position to defend their Monkey King, so Savage takes a hit for the team. Big kill to get. Savage is up there in farm. The more you slow down this Monkey King, the slower it'll be for him to hit this spike. He is going for the Diffusal Blade, so none of the farming items, none of the Battle Fury Maelstrom. He just wants to fight. And for the Monkey King, this is a slow process to farm. He has decent wave clear, but he has been stuck in lane. He hasn't gotten stacks. That is going towards the Axe and Razor instead. So Savage's item spike's going to be a bit delayed. And if he keeps dying like that, it's not going to feel great for him if he gets this pressure on.
Yeah. I hate you so much, and I was over that moment. And you bring it back to me.
Top tower is under attack.
He sent it. He sent the screenshot as well. Thank you, Dougie. Everyone tag Mr. Doug Bot and thank him. He's a great guy. There you go.
Oh, Jesus. I mean, I'll need you to help me sort out that option after this game, by the way, John. I'm not risking this again. Oh, I'll tell you. I just can't catch a break. I just can't. Internet issues, or rather C-line issues right now. You know, working with you makes it that much worse. Top lane, looks like they have gone after the Axe. Cuckoo, he's going to be in danger. Melodict is there. They do burn all his mana. And actually, with the urn charges, he may indeed be dead. But Bushwhack is there, Zephyr. He may have just saved the day, Cuckoo. Oh, he's barely going to survive.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
Everything was going so smoothly as well, but now it is actually lagging, believe it or not. Again.
You gotta love the burn months coming in, Mike. I love it. Not for the internet, but it is cold. I have to tell you, the weather is really good. What is good as well as this game? It's very even, 5-6, 2k lead for T1. You are still struggling on your jungle Ursa. Raven still trying to catch up in farm, 2.9k net worth. Compared to Carl, Savage, Cuckoo, all at 4.2-ish. That's a massive deficit. And an Ursa without farming items, it's going to take forever to close that gap. We'll have to see how much more time Fnatic can buy out. They are stalling out the aggression from T1, and T1 has not managed to really force a push. Look at Death Down bot. He's just solo shoving in the bot tier 1. If they leave it for too long, eventually it falls, and that is a little bit more space for Fnatic to use for farming.
Absolutely. Death. Again onto Whitemon. They're not going to hit the chains this time around, but should still be able to eventually get this kill. The Whitemon doesn't have the heal up. Dabs, he's going to cut him off. Cold Snap is there. And they do indeed get the kill. And now with the siege creep, of course, you are going to start to be able to pressure that bottom tier 1 tower.
Yeah, T1, they need to line up elsewhere. They need to get a push. They can't be this complacent, because you are still getting farm, you are still building up on the Timbersaw and on the Invoker, and they need to get their own counter push. Carl's lining up top with his own siege creep. It's not the fastest process without any stolen damage on the Razor. Should still eventually get some good damage going and eventually melt the tier 1 for trade. But Fnatic, just with that bot tier 1, again, more space for Ursa. Triangle, it's a bit more secure. There are good wards here from T1 to watch that triangle, though. They are pretty aware of where the farm's coming through for Fnatic. They just need to wait for a couple of these items to be up. The Ults on Carl will allow him to set up with the static link, and Cuckoo is just rushing the Manta, so he's not going for the blink. And that will give maybe a bit of a lack of initiation from T1 on the Axe, but that will make him ultra tanky and of course builds into the shard down the line. So we'll see if that pays off for Cuckoo bypassing the blink first. Fnatic though, they will smoke up. They're looking to wrap around top.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. DJ Tornado is there. They found the Monkey King, and with the plasma filled out, 23 Savage should eventually just die. They committed the finger. He's going to try, though. The melodic damage is enough as DJ. Can he make it in time? Oh, it just barely goes down there to Cuckoo.
Oh, man.
Wouldn't have mattered anyway, though. It's a great trade. What is it, Jen? I can hear you smiling behind that voice of yours.
Okay. I want you to tap the Witch Doctor portrait. He died in base.
He did.
With a call. He died to the call in base. You gotta love that. It's their server ticks, you know. Sometimes it lines up and the sequence of events just don't go in your favor on that dice roll. It's a long range and call.
It is a long range.
halfway across the map. You love to see it still.
Yeah, bot lane. Bushwhack does connect. Sharpshooters there. They've got the break and they should have enough damage as well. It's never going to be the easiest Timber game in the world because you are going to have that natural break in the Hoodwink. Bushwhack obviously very effective as well if you do land onto the Timbersaw. That'd be an important kill to get.
Yeah, it's
Radiant's middle
big
tower
kill,
is under
slowing
attack.
down death spikes. I mean, we talked about farm distribution for Fnatic. The Timber is going to have to take that backseat. They are still getting space for Raven. I mean, he is building up.
Dire's bottom
So
tower
I
is under
think when you take it in that context where, all right, my Timbersaw is taking the front lines, so my Ursa's safe. Fnatic is just taking the losses they can, just to enable their win conditions to build up. T1, again, there's still that lack of push on the mid-tier one. I think we have to see that tower go so they can really shut down the farm of Fnatic. Fnatic, though, they're not being complacent. They just smoke up Raven. He's level 9. He has a Morbid Mask. He could sneak a Roshan. It's still an Ursa with max level Fury swipes. Solo Rosh can still happen.
Absolutely. Roshan will get started. Raven gonna get to work, and it should be a rather easy process for him.
Radiant's middle
Nobody's
tower
actually
is under
making the
attack.
rotation over. It seems like they are not aware that Raven may have jumped into the pit. I suppose it is very early, and there are no wards to scout him running in. And he's gonna get it completely for free.
Roshan has
No
fallen to the
contest.
tower.
Immortality!
Now, Whitemon, he's around the area on this Enchantress, but he can't do anything by himself. He's got to run.
Yeah, it's a great pickup for Fnatic. Good gold injection to kind of keep them up to pace as well. T1 still holds onto a 4K lead, but the gap between Chuan and everyone else is shrinking. Raven's only so far behind now. Once this Ursa has defusal, it feels a little bit scary for T1 just giving that recovery farm for free. And we expect them to be more aggressive, but they seem to think that playing passively will match up. Now, again, they have the Axe. The Shard will come through eventually. They have a Monkey King who's farmed up fairly well. They're lining up for death again.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If you got the Sharpshooter up and go for the easy kill, why the hell not? Yours is there, though. That'll purge the break off, so maybe not so easy anymore, and he's going to chain away. Immediate TP as well. They won't have the stun to stop the TP. T1. I mean, it was an easy kill, but not anymore. Not with that Yule Scepter up. He's going to always pretty much have a way out. T1, they'll have to find another target to pick on, but they've got a 4K net worth advantage. I mean, everything's still going really splendidly for them. Cuckoo going greedy with the Mantax, but it's, you know, if he's allowed to farm, why the hell not?
Yeah, he's not really been contested at all. The jungle's very open for the Tricore of T1 to just keep farming this way. And even without the shard, you can just toss them in to disrupt the lanes. Like, it just holds off a push. There's huge commitment mid. Raven's kind of left alone, but Carl without backup's not going to be able to run him down. That is still pressure being applied here. And Fnatic, they're still sort of playing clumped. They're still trying to get farm on Raven. I think we need to see a little bit more activity out for Chuan. He needs to top up his Spirit Vessel. So they need to find a pickoff, get that charge on the Invoker, and once you get that support kill, you can start lining up for the big cores. That Spirit Vessel is going to hold back on the durability of every single one of them, especially Savage. It's not going to feel good to try to lifesteal with that Spirit Vessel running up.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Things still going just splendidly.
Dire's top tower
Cuckoo.
is under attack.
Getting close now to that blink timing.
Just what that.
He's gonna have enough gold for it before the 20-minute mark, I think, so he will probably go for the blink before shards, but you could also just wait it out if you really want that added spin. I'm sure Cuckoo will just opt for the team fight. As now Sharpshooter's out again onto death, but he again is gonna purge it off with the Yule Scepter. He's just fine, as they'll even salve him up to really help him heal up. Now a tornado. It's gonna fly through Carl. It does connect, but Raven, it looks like he's a bit too low to fight. Does have the Aegis, but doesn't really want to waste it and throw it away. So Fnatic, they'll give up on the push. They'll back off. I think this is really bad news though for Fnatic, the way this game's gone. Like T1, they're having a great time, and you know Cuckoo's gonna hit that timing very, very soon. Where it's going to be kind of ridiculous to try and fight into this guy. Whitemon, He'll die to the Melodict, but they'll still find a trade in DJ, and they might even find another as Death has been caught by the call. They should be able to lock him down, but no, the Bushwhack is on cooldown, so the Sharpshooter is not going to land. Is it going to matter? Balance Strike is there. Bushwhack now is out, though, and they will be able to secure the kill. They still haven't been able to acquire that mid-tier 1 tower. Quite bad news here for Fnatic.
T1, again, a slower pace of game. They've got bigger cores that scale. For Fnatic, the Invoker can scale up to a point. The Timbersaw as well, but not in the same way as the Axe and the Monkey King does. The Ursa should be able to keep up, but with a gold deficit that he's still dealing with, still a slower process. I say gold deficit. Ravens climbed up to number 3. So again, the catch-up farm has been paying off here for Fnatic. They've stalled the game out. They have gotten room for their core to get into the defusal blink timing here. And that's when the Ursa can start showing up to these fights. Get the inhibit off with the defusal active and just start running people down. I think T1 has to be fairly cautious about that. They do finally finish the blink on Cuckoo though. So they've got their initiation. They've got the blink call ready. I think this is the point where T1 also starts to look for a couple of plays themselves.
Absolutely. We'll start moving into it. Fnatic moving into that triangle. T1 still looking to guard that T1 mid tower. Fnatic, if they can somehow get through Cuckoo, this could be a great chance for them to get that T1. And now Cuckoo, he may have been cornered. They've got the Earth Spike out with the finger, and they will blow him up. They even found Whitemon, and that should be enough to get the T1 tower now. They'll have to tank it. It won't matter too much. They desperately need to get rid of this tower ASAP.
Yeah. T1 with no defense, it's going to be a bit rough for them. They do have the BKB done on Carl for the next engagement. They need to look for the tier 1 trade mid. They are kind of clumping around. Maybe just wait for the respawn on the Axe before making that move. And Fnatic don't really have any other objectives to play for, so they're going to have to take the backseat. The Aegis does expire, so there's no safety net now for Raven if he does get caught out of position. Like T1, they need to push in this mid-tier run. Just even out the tower trade, even out the map control, and you still feel good in this game. The lead has dropped to just 2k. So the passiveness hasn't been working all too well for T1 just yet. And this might bite them back at some point if they don't start making use of that earlier gold lead. Like, Raven's pretty much just tied with Carl and Cuckoo now. Chuan's still keeping up. It's only Death that's lagging behind, but it's a Timbersaw. It doesn't need too much initial farm anyway. He's just saving up for the Lotus, and once you're there, you're at a good spot with that Dispel on hand to distract the enemy team. T1, you need to use this blink. Cuckoo, he picked it up, he died. They haven't really looked for the smoke play, and that kind of feels like it's starting to favor Fnatic just a little bit more. Like, the Ursa's getting scary. Chuan is saving up for his Ags. Once you have the Cataclysm to play with the Earth Spike alone, that's going to feel like it's enough.
Absolutely. These voice lines. Just love how Jabs and Whitemon, they just once in a while they'll just spam a voice line for no apparent reason. Just to get into the heads of the enemy. Little 3k net worth lead, T1. Everything's up almost. Cuckoo, 250 gold away just about. Having that beautifully balanced Axe skill builder, item build up. Fnatic still looking pretty rough for him. Like, I just don't know how you're going to commit to this Axe after this game, after this Shards is up. It's the amount of damage he outputs once the Shards is there is just too much. I don't know how they're going to deal with it.
Yeah, I think if they had a natural source of break, it would feel a lot better. Like, if they had a Hoodwink on their side, if they had a Viper, would kind of take care of their issues. Still, T1, they're smoked up. They don't have to deal with those issues, so they can kind of look for those plays. They just need to find a target here, and for the most part, Fnatic has kind of declumped.
There you go.
Yeah, Whitemon is going to find DJ, and they've got an easy kill. Not too hard.
Oh, I've killed better.
Not exactly the target they would have liked to get, but they'll take it. That's into that tier 2 mid tower now.
Under attack. Dire's middle tower.
It's going to be a slower process. They're not going to commit all the way, but they're trying to bait somebody into try and defend this.
Gotcha.
In the meantime, Cuckoo, he'll just keep farming on this offlane Axe. Like, say offlane Axe, but it's definitely a carry Axe right now. So it's not really an offlane Axe.
No.
Now the
Savage.
it's alright. He's going to Primal Spring in. Raven's there. He does get stunned up, and there's Wukong's command out. So Chuan is going to be targeted, and he might just have enough. One more hit. No, Savage, he turns. Sharpshooter. Oh, it's going to land. Oh, the trust there. Everyone can Zephyr.
Oh
The
man,
Monkey King's gratitude.
that was big. No, Fnatic. I saw headshot. Oh god, here we go. If Abed was here, they'd be talking about CS. Still, that was a ballsy play from Chuan. He tried to force staff break the tree. He saw Savage jump in. He didn't line up the force staff. That could have ended up very differently for T1 if they managed to get the tree break. So Fnatic, unfortunately, didn't win the 50-50 on that force staff break, and they lose out in the core. Lead widens here for T1, 6k up, 6 to 5k. Chuan still saving up for the Ag, still 3 parts off, about 2.1k gold. So it's coming up slowly. And eventually you're gonna have that impact. I just don't know how much the Cataclysm will do. Like with Earth Spike, if you catch multiple heroes, it feels great. If you catch one, it doesn't feel great, and that's the real big kicker for that gold investment. You don't have the natural combination. Roshan just about 20 seconds away. The scan is there. They're keeping track with the enchanted creep in the pit as well on T1's end. Figure out when Rosh is happening. Fnatic, and they've got the Basher on Raven. They are still getting farm in the Ursa. The issue is no one else is. And Savage, Carl, Kuku are all equal in that wort, and they're allowed to build up. Feels like Fnatic's going all in on Raven. It has to pay off. They will clump up, but they don't really have a smoke, so they can't go for a play. They suspect Rosh is happening, and they would be right. The scan was a bit early a while ago. Let's see if the smoke pays off.
I mean, as Fnatic, you don't really want to let this Roshan go down, right? Like, you've got an Ursa. Obviously, you want to have priority over the Roshan, and now it's going to be a smoke-on-smoke scenario. But Carl, he's going to have his smoke broken. Hex immediate balance right there, but is it going to be enough? He's still alive. Carl, he will survive to get the BKB off. DJ trying to use that Death Ward to get something done. They're going to just send Axe Solutions in after it. Nice Chakram there. Bushwhack on the mark from Zephyr. They'll get another kill. And it's back into the Roshan pit for T1.
Now they don't have anything to stop it from Fnatic's end. Without the supports, they lack control. Chuan can't just make that play alone. And
here we go, onto the Timber. Death gonna chain away. He's gonna be all right. T1, they are back into the Roshan.
It's not going to take long with the Ag Shard and the Illusions. They're just going to be able to melt through Rosh. Fnatic going to have to concede that objective. Aegis Cheese Shard. And they're still clumping around. They might just throw their bodies forward.
Yeah, I think they really want to try and fight and steal this, but the Aegis is the way of Kuku now. Oh, they might just lose more bodies. Raven getting static linked. He will be able to back. They seem to want Death instead. They're just going to be able to get him as now Japs also goes down. They'll find another. There goes DJ, and there goes Death. Fnatic, they're going to lose 3 for nothing. And they still lose all the Roshan items to the wave T1.
Yeah, it's just kind of painful right now for Fnatic. 16 to 11, but the 10k lead for T1, it just keeps widening now. Fnatic, they still only have farm on Raven, and it feels like Raven will need that BKB to have that frontline presence on the Ursa. It's slow going, and he just can't farm the same way Kuku does. He can't farm the same way Carl does with her wave clear. He just has to go in, get the clap off with the Earthshock, try to clear out, try to hope that no one's rotating on him. And for T1 now, with the Aegis Cheese, they need to look for these tier 2s. Just play the objectives, start to really rip the map apart and choke out Fnatic. There's not going to be much room left for them to get that farm built up once the towers start to fall.
Absolutely not.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
And gripping up top lane, they want to try and fight. Try to defend this tier 2 tower. They don't want to lose too much of the map, but it's going to be a very hard fight with a 12k deficit. Well, the way this game's gone, T1 are in complete control, and it's kind of like I said earlier, like even without Kuku, T1's already very problematic. But when you add the Axe, if he gets a nice call off with this Manta Shards build up, it's just impossible. You just get deleted, and we haven't even seen it yet. That's the worst part.
Oh yeah.
We might see right now, John. Will they go for death? He's been caught. He's got the Aeon disc, but look at the damage output with the spins flying out. He's going to survive, but it won't matter. Cuckoo will get another dunk off. And now they can start slowly setting up for that mid-tier 2 tower.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
They're getting the shove down bot as well. They're going to be able
Dire's
to
bottom
keep a
tower
couple
has
lanes shoved in. Raven's done a good job keeping the creep wave away though.
Dire's middle
But the
tower
mid is
is
lined up
under
for
attack.
Fnatic are sort
Radiant's
of
bottom
walking
tower is
top,
under attack.
and they have enough bodies to defend. So T1 will just
Radiant are
play it
scanning.
safe, build up their farm some more, maybe
Dire's
start to
middle tower
regroup.
is under
They still hold the Aegis, they still have cheese, but there's nothing to really be worried about here.
Yep. Zephyr. He's going to be able to get away. 4-star. Sunstrike. Oh, nice dodge, Zephyr. Good game sense there from our Hoodwinkers. Now Chuan's out of position. You get a ghost scepter, or rather ghost form, and just walk away. T1, they still found jabs on the Lion, and they might even find more. Raven, he's going to try and run, but Savage is on his tail. They've got the plasma field out as well. They have got the Ursa. They will get him with the call out from Cuckoo. They'll get the kill onto Carl.
Ox leaves you.
Another tip comes out. T1. I feel like they already know that they've pretty much won this game. It just feels impossible to come back from a game like this. Especially against this axe.
Cuckoo's just way too big. T1 again just managing to get their greedy draft to work. And Fnatic, they couldn't really run and gun the way they wanted to. Mid-tier 3 is going to be poked away. They do have the ads up on Chuan, so the Cataclysm's ready. Again, it just relies so much more on their supports to set up for the Kata. It's down to jabs to get the Earth Spike and to have the cask bouncing around from DJ. And with these two supports, it just doesn't feel like you have a big playmaker on 4. And that was the same thing last game with the Winter Wyvern as well, with the Ags. Like, you had one spell, the Winter's Curse. It's just not the kind of support that can really fully set up for you every time. And it just feels like that lack of great initiation from Fnatic is really putting a limitation to what they can do in these fights, what targets they can jump. And it's getting a bit tough to even just find single target pickoffs. T1, they're constantly grouped up. They've got the entire map under their control, except the bot lane with the tier 2, but it's not really a lane most people think about anyway. Savage has a double damage, so he's just going to run around and hunt.
Yeah, I mean, why the hell not? Jabs, Boundless Strike, not going to land. Quick reactions out from Jabs. He's going to try and TP, but the pushback is there. Zephyr just way too on target with this Hoodwink. They might even find Chuan. He is ghost walking right now. They won't have the protection just laying around. So he's going to make it out. And there is really just no space on the map here for Fnatic, as they will go back towards their own base. But this 20k net worth lead now for T1, it only gets harder and harder to go against them as time goes on. You look at all 3 cores at the top of the net worth board right now are the way of T1. It's just not even close.
They managed to really get that farm split very evenly. 18.5 in Cuckoo, 18.2 in Savage, 17.7 in Carl. Very even distribution, and it's very rare you see that. Usually you see one core super farmed up. It just tells you the state of the game. Fnatic has not been able to really bully any single core to stop this. And now tier 2 bot just shoved in. No Aegis on Savage. Not an issue with this kind of lead. They even have the Ags up and running now on Carl. So he's going to be able to use the Eye of the Storm to help the push out as well, and that's just going to make for a very fast high ground here if they're not careful.
Bottom tower
Yeah.
is under attack.
Aeon just procced. I believe it was onto death, and it was. Could be a smoke up. T1, yeah, I mean, they just want to go. They've got a Hyperstone now, Cuckoo, so his attack speed's through the roof now, and T1, they see one target, they're jumping. They'd love some vision at the moment to the base, but they're not going to get that. Still, DJ is ready in position to break a smoke. Kings are out. They're trying to find the perfect location to blink in. Meanwhile, a counter smoke now for Fnatic, but they really don't want to find the low ground at the moment, I don't think. Luckily for them, T1, they do kind of just split up. So maybe this is the right time.
Dire's bottom tower is under
They're gonna
attack.
find Whitemon on the Enchantress. He does break the smoke. They'll jump in. They'll secure the kill. They'll get something for their trouble.
It's not a terribly big kill, but it's something they need on Fnatic's end. Just getting the gold injection, getting out and clearing out some camps while they can. Don't have the triangle camps anymore, unfortunately, but they've got their top jungle. T1, yeah, they don't mind us. They know they're in the lead. They know they've got items that can still flow out onto Savage to grow bigger on the Monkey King. They can wait for the next Roshan as well. Still a ways off. Half a minute till we see the respawn timer. But it's really down to Fnatic to make something happen now. Like, they're the ones on the back foot. They need to try to keep building up. They need more items out on Raven. He has the BKB. It's a fresh one. 9-second charge. They just haven't been able to play with Ursa up front. They haven't been able to initiate these fights the way they want to. And it's almost consistent with the issues we saw in the last game, where they have these tools to play with on Fnatic's end. They just don't have any openings to actually use those tools.
No, certainly not. Yeah, I guess you can still try to rely on Raven to just catch up in farm and maybe be able to take over this game, but into the draft of T1, it just, again, feels kind of impossible. 22k net worth. It looks like T1 waiting for the next Roshan, and yeah, it is a fast Roshan. I think it was like 5 seconds, the respawn timer. So important for Fnatic to try and secure this, but how do you do it unless you sneak it? It just feels like you're going to be at a loss, although they do scout it out early. In T1, they may kind of underestimate how fast it spawned. Never mind though, they are here. Roshan?
Oh, Raven.
He's trying to start Cuckoo. He smells something. Raven, he's going to just jump right into him. Who are they going on though? 23 Savage, he's in trouble. He gets the balance strike off the bushwhack. Main save the David. No, he still drops. DJ though is going to die, and now Chuan's in trouble. Deafening blast out. They'll still get the kill with the illusions. Meanwhile, Raven on the side does kill off Whitemon.
Your cubs are orphans now.
Looks like that's going to be about it. Top lane.
Is under attack.
It's going to miss out on jabs. That's going to chain away Raven. Hanging around. Maybe they could try to turn here on Cuckoo. They're going to try. He has the move shut up now. You've got to be careful. But with the range, maybe they can get through him. The call is there. Static link out from Carl. He'll keep chasing him down with the BKB now to try and take down this Ursa. He's going to TP, but there's your Yule Scepter around. And now jabs. He's going to drop as well. As Death is going to try and back out on the Timber. Raven, he's still trying to run. Carl,
Just keeping it loose.
he will force him right back to the fountain.
Is under attack.
Now T1, looks like they'll get a free reset on Cuckoo. And it's going to be back to the Roshan pit for them.
Yeah, I mean, they stalled the fight long enough that Savage will be able to come back in for the Rosh. Bit unfortunate the Monkey King died. Really good position from Fnatic to cut him off. The punishment was good. Unfortunately, not good enough to stop this Roshan. They will still have to throw their bodies for it. As you said, it's too big of an objective to give out for Fnatic. They just let go of it. That could be endgame.
Sunstrike. On the side, Sharpshooter is there, actually connecting onto Raven. So Whitemon and Zephyr just holding everyone else back there on the side of Fnatic. T1, of course, they will secure the Roshan. Refresher Shard is there on Carl. He even got a haste rune now, so double ultis are up. Aegis, I believe, went the way of 23 Savage's Cuckoo. He doesn't want any of it. They even gave the cheese over to Savage. And I guess Cuckoo just doesn't feel like he needs it.
Excellent.
He's just fine all the time.
Yeah. Really good to try to go off. Having a second life on Savage is a little bit more helpful. He's squishier, probably the squishiest core on the side of T1. High ground, simplified with a refresh. No problems here for Carl.
Yeah, I mean, with the Refresher Shard, very, very easy stuff with this Razor. They're going to have to try and force a defense out. Fnatic, what do you do here? Melodic on Carl, Tornado going to buy a bit of time with the EMP out. EMP not really going to land on anyone, and now Cuckoo is looking for a blink in, does get it, he's found the backside onto the Witch Doctor. He misses the dunk, but it won't matter. Meanwhile, Savage, a 3-man balance strike, and Raven's gone. Chuan's gone as well. They just melt. They just completely melt as jabs. He will drop to Cuckoo. That's it, they call it. They've had enough. That'll be a 2-0 victory here for T1.
Yeah, T1 getting their first win. They start to climb up in groups. Fnatic, they went off